So now I want to call in Benjamin and Kim, who have been in our first edition of the Scale Climate Action Meetup. They were we separated people in different groups to tackle challenges in different sectors. And they were talking about education. They were part of the education group. I will change the slide very soon. Yeah, I'm just giving a very quick intro. So um, they have been working since the last meetup. They have been meeting and discussing and continuing a little bit of what I was talking about before. And I asked them to come here and share with you guys what they have learned so far and what their plans are. Because later in the program, we will be doing a similar thing. We will be breaking into two small groups. We will be discussing in smaller groups, and you guys will have the chance to continue working together if you wish to do so afterwards. So here is an example of a group that actually did that. So let me put up the slides. Please, a big round of applause for them as well.
So big shout out to Jen, Steve, and Renato who bring the floor to us to meet, and so inspiring to hear Ibu Aida and Ashrun Karaway. And I have the previous one and also this one. I have learned so much and it's so inspiring. So our group, the Scale Climate Education, met at the first event, and we now have over 10 members with various backgrounds. And we meet regularly in person and online. And it's super engaging, super fun. Like you connect with like-minded, like-hearted people. And we decide to meet up because we want to be a part of the solutions. And the first steps might seem small and insignificant, but who knows what the momentum will take us, right? So the only way for us to find out is to take actions. So it's wonderful that you guys spend your precious time here today. And I would assume that you have incorporated certain climate aware practice and routines in your own self, your own life, your own family, and even in your own career, your own livelihood, which is amazing. And let's see what additional actions you could take starting from today. And so I highly recommend you to join a group at the group workshop later on this morning. And or you could choose to be a part of the education group that we are. And our vision is to collective awareness about our global sustainability challenges, the hidden root cause, and the solutions through education. And if you don't know Benjamin, he has a great talk at Green School, and now it's available on YouTube, and I highly recommend you to check it out. And it's called Addressing the Hidden Roots of Climate Change and the Opportunity for the Future. So with that vision in mind, our mission is to help people understand that our sustainability challenges stem from our own primal behaviors, patterns that are deep-rooted in fears and traumas from the past. And Benjamin's talk has, he put together a wonderful history of 150,000 years into very informative, very great talk. So our goals, if you can go to the next slide, for 2023, our goals is to encourage and support each team member in embodying the change we want to live in the world through recognizing and fulfilling our own unmet psychological needs. So what happens when these needs are not met? We rely on the outside to fulfill the big hole that we have inside of us through overconsumption in food and in material goods, in contents that we watch, or in escapism. Oh, who am I to try to save the world? Or in denial, like my climate impact is so small. The people who need to change are the government, the big organization, not me. So we might, and with those psychological things, we might see some of our relationships with the nature around us, with money, with other people in our lives, with our work are not fulfilling and not in harmony. And what happens when these needs are starting to be addressed and being met? We are starting to feel whole. We feel safe. We feel that we are enough and we have enough. All our material needs are already met 100 times over. So now we are going with our psychological needs. And we know, we've realized that we have enough to truly be happy and to take actions that aligns with our priority and align with the priority of the world. And we are starting to realize that on the conscious and subconscious level, that we are all different cells of one human body. And we can indeed collectively create our future together, whether we deliberately create that future or not. It's all up to us. We have the superpower. It's 100% our power. And like the natural saying, every action is a climate action. What do we spend our time on? So from this individual work, we can expose the common roots of these different issues to create the cohesion. And the solution must start from our own work, from our own looking into our own self. Um, so, so let's go back to the slide. And the next goal is to promote the next level breakthrough training programs that Benjamin had created, which give clarity, vision, and directions toward effectively dealing with the great challenge of our time. And the last goal for this year for us is to expand our network to work with schools, companies, public institutions, and other partners. And so the next thing is our 3-year goal. And Benjamin, do you want to take over?
Oh, I thought that was still yours. I can. So basically, what we want, what we see today, there are so many initiatives to tackle our world challenges. And climate change is one of them. Biodiversity loss is another. Resources overconsumption is a third one. That's for the ecological challenges, but we also have growing inequalities, financial debts. And so when we are trying to face all these issues, it's overwhelming. We can't even hold the awareness. It's very hard to hold the awareness of all these issues at the same time in our minds because it's so overwhelming. But what we found in our studies is that all these issues, they share common root causes, and that these root causes are not to be found outside of ourselves, but inside of ourselves. And so if we can develop a collective awareness about the nature of these root causes within ourselves, then we can also have an umbrella to unite our forces and a vision to heal as a species, because ultimately these issues stem from our, sorry for the word, psychological problems, right? It's our relationship with the world that is creating the situation in which we are, or addictions, or rivalries, and they stem from the way our mind function, and that is all from the inside. So there's a world, this is a world, I'm starting to open the Pandora box, and I will stop there, probably leaving you in a state of curiosity and willing to know more, which is good. So our aim is really to bring that awareness so we can also not only work separately on the many symptoms, but also work together on the root causes and helping each other to expand our consciousness. There is, it always starts from here. So I'm going to skip this one. We also need, what we see is right now, if I look at where our energy and money is being invested as a society, there's a lot that is going on technologies. We are looking about trillions of dollars of investment in technologies to solve our problems. Now, if I tell you that when we drive technological progress without consciousness, we endanger ourselves, then it means that investing only in technologies is part of the problem. We also need to invest in ourselves, in our own healing and consciousness expansion. And so the key is also to convince people who have leverage in corporations, in institutions, to not forget the human aspect, to not forget to invest in our own selves, because this is the input that determine the nature of the output. I was thinking before, because this has a lot to do with education. I was thinking before when I was hearing Tanguy speaking about the importance of quality food for our bodies, but the same goes for the importance of quality education for our minds. In a sense, the pollution and the junk we will find in our food is a projection of the pollution and the junk that we have in our own minds collectively, and that needs to be addressed. And if we have it in our own minds, because we have it in our own bodies as well. It can be in our guts, can be in our hearts, right? And that will require us to work also on that, not to disregard this inner aspect, which is so fundamental. And so also one of our goals is to create easy to understand materials, because these things, they might seem intangible, hard to grasp. So to make it accessible to as many people as possible so that it can be scaled and valued. And so we are already working on that. And so my call for those who feel that they want to engage in this journey is also to join and to support educational initiatives that are next level, that are up to the challenges of our times, because we won't fix the problems that we are facing right now with the same thinking that has created them. I'm quoting here Einstein. It means that if we want a new way of thinking, we need a new education that changes the status quo starting from within. And this is what we are dedicated to do. You are welcome to be part of the journey. Eddie, I know you're also working on that. So yes, I know you're speaking next. Just wanted to wink at you. Yes, I think that's what I had to say. And so, yeah, to finalize, ultimately, what we are facing here is unprecedented. So we can't engage in that process with a sense of certainty. What I'm really asking you here is just to thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Kim. Really appreciate it. Again, let's just start walking the walk, right? And here is an example of a group of people that got together in the last meetup and then started doing their own thing afterwards and are evolving towards that. If you guys want to do a very similar thing, start your own discussion groups with your friends, with your families. Let's start moving, right? Start rethinking about how you relate your work to climate change and to undo that.